Hello and welcome back once again to After the Credits. Today we're talking about Murder on the Orient Express. So what did I think of Murder on the Orient Express? Same thing I thought of the book. It's not really that great of a story. Visually, this looked really good, but overall, if you know the story of Murder on the Orient Express, either you like it or you don't. If you like it, you'll probably like the movie. If you don't like the story, you're probably not going to like the movie. For those of you who don't know, this is based on an Agatha Christie book. I don't remember what year it came out, but it was quite a while ago, and it had its popularity for a little while. I think it was one of the best sellers of its time, but just overall the story, probably because it's been so redone and reused in other formats, that it gets kind of redundant. It's one of the earlier versions of the twist murder mystery, so obviously that concept has been redone and redone and redone and redone in every single movie and book you can probably think of, and it has been done as at least one other film before, so if you've seen the old version, again, you know how this goes, but now we have an updated version for the new generation, so I guess that works. Like I said, visually it's really appealing, it looks really nice, it is a period piece, so there isn't a lot to it, and it is a single setting. I wouldn't say it's a bottle movie because it doesn't take place all on one set, but it does take place on the train and just off of the train, so you do have a couple scene changes. So it's not quite a bottle film, but it does take place in a single location more or less. So basically what the movie is about, or the book is about, is this detective who just has a natural ability to see minor things that are out of place. He wants order in the world, and if there's something slightly out of order, it sets his whole world into chaos until it's fixed. So if there's ever some type of mystery, he can see the minor details that everyone else might overlook that just seem out of place, and it's usually some type of clue that leads him to solving the mystery. Basically kind of almost a Sherlock Holmes type of character. There was another character I was going to compare him to, but I blanked out on the name right now. But basically he'd be like a combination of whoever that character was that I was thinking of, and Sherlock Holmes, to where Sherlock Holmes can see things, but he also misses things occasionally until the calculations that he needs to make are made, and then things snap together for him. This guy is more like the other character that I was thinking of that I can't think of now, where he just sees things that are out of place. Oh, another character I just now thought of that's very similar is also like the character in Psych, where some detectives will overlook something and he picks up on minor details and uses it to kind of claim that he has a psychic ability. This detective doesn't claim to have a psychic ability, he just notes that he sees order, and when something's not in order he notices it, and that's usually a clue to what's going on. So it's kind of that whole mentality as far as a detective. So we follow him solving a couple cases, and then it turns out that he has to go to another place to solve another mystery. So he takes the train, and of course a murder happens on the train. So he has the train stopped where it is and kind of confines everyone to the train. No one's allowed to go off the train. No one's really allowed to leave their compartments on the train until the investigation is properly conducted. And he keeps finding different clues that lead him to one person, but that person will have an alibi. And then he'll find another clue that leads him to another person. That person also has an alibi. Then he'll find another clue that rules out both of those people, whether they had an alibi or not, but then leads to a third person. But then, like, as it goes on, every time he thinks he's on the track of where everything is going, something throws it off. So this is like one of the more difficult cases he's ever had to solve, and he knows he's missing something, he just can't figure out what it is because everything is contradictory of everything else. So you basically just follow his investigation for 2 hours until you come to the realization about a half hour before he does of what the actual twist is, because it's really heavily telegraphed at one point. I mean, when every single clue contradicts another clue, what do you think the obvious outcome is going to be? But you keep following it with him, and eventually he comes to the realization. I'm not going to tell you what it is in case you don't know the story or you actually want to see the movie or read the book yourself. But he figures out what's going on, and mystery solved, and the train gets back underway. They pull into the next station, and he has a telegram where there's a similar case that happens on the Nile, and he's going to investigate that. So that leads into Agatha Christie's other book, which I believe was titled Murder on the Nile, which is just all of her murder case books are basically a continuation of the same detective solving cases. So it's potentially sequel baiting, but doesn't necessarily warrant a sequel. If they do a sequel to it, it's going to be more of the same thing. If they don't do a sequel, then it's not really sequel bait because that's just the way the book ended, was leading into the next book. So they may do a sequel, they may not, and if you want to see a sequel, the book is out there, you can read it. But overall, as far as what I thought of the movie, like I said, it's 2 hours of following him through his investigation, and it is a period piece, so everything's kind of uneventful, even when things contradict themselves. You can kind of see where they're going to go, even if you don't know what the ending is going to be. But like I said, about a half hour before he actually comes to the conclusion, there's enough evidence there that the audience should have figured it out. And if they didn't, then they just weren't paying attention. But honestly, I wasn't paying attention through most of his investigation. I was zoning out thinking about other things almost through the entire movie. And it's been years since I've even thought about Murder on the Orient Express, but the ending was really heavily telegraphed, in my opinion. If you like the book, you'll probably enjoy the movie. If you don't like the book, probably not. If you've never read the book and want to get the gist of what it's about, check it out. But like I said, it's kind of the book a lot of other murder mysteries have emulated over the years, so maybe that's why it's a little bit predictable to me. But I guess if it's your first time reading it and you don't know, you'll probably enjoy it. Who knows? Depends on what type of books you like. So what would I give as far as a star rating? I guess a 3. Nothing bad to say about it, nothing really good to say about it, just kind of middle of the road. So it gets a 3. So that's it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Links are down in the description. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you get notifications every time I post new content. And until next time, I'll see you after the credits.